The Wigan game last night against Warrington, they really did give us a treat, and I think that we can look forward to something similar. Remember, as Eddie said, St Helens only need to draw tonight to pick up silverware.
Mark Percival gets us underway. Here comes Antonio Cafusi. There's the first challenge of the night from Josh Jones and Anthony Lafranchi. The atmosphere is good, and St Helens have started brightly. Kyler Moore was very quickly in on the tackle then. This now is Michael Lawrence, and he goes down on tackle number 3. They've only made 17 metres forward. Cafusi tries to take them forward a few more. He does. 23 metres made in 4 tackles so far. Here's the kick. The first kick of the night from Jake Connor, and it's a beauty as well. A cracker.
And they went early in the tackle count. Look at the chase. That is tremendous. There was no less than 11 Huddersfield players through. Oh, that was a big hit. They mean business.
Yes, they do. The Giants mean business, Saints mean business, and the business for them tonight is to pick up at least a point, i.e. avoid defeat. You can hardly play for a draw in rugby league, but a draw would do, and Saints go home with the League Leaders' Shield safely in their pockets. It will be the first silverware at the new Langtree Park Stadium. Nathan Brown, Kieran Cunningham looking quite relaxed on the sideline as Jordan Turner just thumps the ball downfield, and underneath it Jody Broughton.
Not a good kick, Eddie. That really should have gone over to more towards the touchline. Paul Anderson knows what to expect. He's an old-style coach as far as I'm concerned. He knows that the forwards have got to set the pattern. And boy, both outfits, both sets of 6 are getting into each other.
Michael Lawrence again, he was fed there by Sean Lunt. Word was he was doubt until right up to the last minute. But he's out there having passed a fitness test about a couple of hours before the game started. Here is this young man, Jake Connor. 19 years of age he is.
I think that's a great indication too for Connor and the Giants that early on in the game he's prepared to run at defenders. A lot of people just want to pass the ball on. He took on the defensive line.
Josh Johnson, another youngster, gets to his feet. Here is Luke Robinson, one of the old stages. Nice kick towards the corner. He found Leroy Cudjoe, and the ball was knocked forward despite the fact that McGilvray pounced on it and touched it down.
Well, nervous times for the coach, Nathan Brown. The St Helens players really didn't go for that. You can see quite clearly Leroy Cudjoe had the opportunity. They've got to defend it a little bit better than that, and it's going to be difficult for St Helens to get anywhere out of there the way that the Giants are tackling.
Stuart, I just wonder whether that should have been a penalty, because it looked as though Leroy Cudjoe tackled in the air.
Well, it's not that, it's McGilvry's offside. When he's knocked on, he's actually picked up the ball from an offside position, which would have given a penalty 10 metres out, which would have got him further afield and away from the in-goal area. Instead, they're here in the trap. He's in an offside position, he's in the opposition's in goal, so he is offside.
Fair enough. Well, here is the ball going to be given back to Huddersfield at the scrum. A mistake by Willie Manu.
Yeah, it wasn't the best pass, and it wasn't the most intelligent either to bring someone short, a little switch pass. You need it right in front of the big forward to make sure that he hits the defence. That was overplaying, far too smart.
Ron Patrick will drive it in. Huddersfield Giants really do look up for the challenge tonight, which will be music to the ears of the Castleford supporters who are watching at home, watching here in the stadium as well, and of course are on their way to the south of France at the moment to see the Castleford Tigers tomorrow night. You'll be able to see that live on Sky Sports as well. Connor with confidence to find Robinson with the offload. Broughton, though, is cut to ground by Tommy Makinson.
Should have been a flop there. Makinson had done the tackle, and they came in very, very late. But you can see already that the confidence is running through Luke Robinson. There he is, number 7. He wants to control things.
Well, he's the director-in-chief, and there he is again with his hands on the ball. He pops it up to Lawrence. O'Hire gets to him.
Little dribble into the in-goal area. That's what I'd be looking for.
Ferris gives a short pass away. Solid defence, and that will be the turnover. I wonder whether Huddersfield just lost the count slightly there.
Yeah, I don't think it was on the option. A straight pass to Joe Wardle, but with the defence pretty keen. really would have been wanted. Paul Anderson, the coach, perhaps would have wanted the kick into the in-goal area, but that's a good run by Amor.
It's a fabulous start to this game. I think the standards were set last night. We watched when Wigan were playing against Warrington, and it was ferocious. And the opening 5 minutes in this game has been exactly the same. Saints don't need to move the ball well. This is where they're strong. When James Roby goes from dummy half, and all the big forwards just keep rolling forward, get up from dummy half and try and test Huddersfield in the middle.
That's a better kick there from Turner.
It is right into the corner, and Wardle, the man who picks it up, he looks inside him and finds Jody Broughton, and Broughton will try and bring it forward. Good
work by Jody Broughton as well. Kick into the corner, went back, made sure that he could get the pass away and get at least to the 20-metre line. Boy, this is running hot.
That was McGilvray who took that ball forward. Here now is Leroy Cudjoe. St Helens hunting the mistake deep inside Giants territory. Robinson with a kick long from, well, the third tackle it was, and that bounced off the arms of Paul Wellens, but in the view of Richard Silverwood it went backwards.
Yeah, he got it right. He was facing his own sticks. The ball did go towards those posts.
You know, when you're full of energy, Eddie, I think sometimes it's easier to tackle us. That's what the Giants have done. They've kicked the ball early and they've backed themselves here to get up and in the faces of the St Helens players.
Percival back in the side after being concussed in that reckless challenge by Joel Moon, for which the lead centre is currently serving a 2-match suspension. And James Roby waiting to come with matters at dummy half. He finds O'Hire, who finds Turner, and he in turn gets the ball out wide, but solid Huddersfield defence once again. Nowhere for Josh Jones to go.
Yeah, good work by McGilvray, because Leroy Cudjoe had gone out of the line.
This is high.
Did it ever?
And Murphy does well.
Good work by Matt Dawson. Put the pressure on him.
Oh, Patrick was on his way to the sideline, so he tipped the ball inside and only found Anthony Lafranchi. That's an error.
That was great work by Turner. Really got the second rower going towards the whitewash there. Lan Patrick, ridiculous pass on the inside. Sheer panic.
Matt Dawson will play it to Roby. Roby will find Kyle Amor, and he gets them to within 10 metres of the Giants' try line.
That's all you need, is a forward to attract 3 would-be defenders.
Roby, short ball. Oh, and he almost thought about stretching out there, did Mossy Masoi. And this time they're over. And the ball has eventually come free. Roby's touched it down. Was it touchdown originally? That is the question for the video referee. Was it Willie Manu who got there first?
Yeah, as he lost it.
Was it Jordan Turner who got there first? They were all in attendance. So Phil Bentham and Stuart Cummings, over to you.
Well, it's all about the grounding, according to referee Richard Silverwood. How's that ball come out? Well, it looks like it's come out on contact. So I think that'll be ruled as a loose carry. Yeah. I don't think you can call that a ball steal, but we'll have another look. How does it come out? He just loses that ball. That's a knock-on.
Yeah, Manu could not control it. Roby made sure that it was touched down just in case, but this will be turned down.
Well, Willie Manu, and I think we all know what the decision is, and it is no try. But St Helens got close, but not quite close enough.
Well, a big relief for Lan Patrick, and I think it was Luke Robinson who passed him the ball on this short side of the field when they lost possession. They won't want to be down this part of the field because St Helens showed against Leeds the other week. Close to the line, they've got a lot of big men who are hard and straight, and they won't pass it very wide, but they'll crash through the middle if possible.
And it just shows you that the wonderful defence from St Helens that forced Lan Patrick to throw that silly pass.
Not many people would. Here's a penalty to Huddersfield.
Percival's offside. He went up too early before the ball had come out of the scrum, and that's what the penalty's for.
I was just going to say, not too many people would begrudge the Saints taking home the League Leaders' Shield tonight, because they've been top of the pile for 19 of the 26 rounds so far. They've been the leaders of this competition since round 15 at the end of May. But it's just getting over that finish line, and they were close last week, and then they failed, and tonight is this the night for the Saints, as Lunt has a little scamper away from dummy half.
That looked a bit high there from Lance O'Hire. Interesting to see that Sean Lunt just passed the fitness test only a few minutes before the kick-off.
20-year-old Josh Johnson, only his 8th appearance of 2014. He ends a 7-game absence here tonight. Robinson gets the ball away to Michael Lawrence.
Got to be a bomb. Will they go to the corner?
But on the last, no, they go cross-field from the boot of Robinson. And in the end, that was fairly easy. Easy enough for Mark Percival. But right underneath his own sticks, he has to play the ball. And now Huddersfield are looking for the mistake.
Eddie, you've got to make sure that you're disciplined. I think the difference between Huddersfield and Saints in the opening 10 minutes is they're very disciplined. As Saints look to move the ball, they make a mistake, and that's the pressure from Huddersfield. They're getting off the line really quick. And then if you look at what Saints are trying to do, they're trying to play outside of them. Jermaine McGilvray puts pressure on Josh Jones. This pass is never on. You just take the tackle. They're hurting themselves, Saints.
I'm with you, Tez. Under no circumstances do you try to pass the ball when you're about a metre from your own goal line.
You can't play sideways like that. When you're a few metres from your own line, the opposition's defence is getting up really quick. They can be so condensed, and that's when it's time to pressure the opposition, and that's exactly what they did on that occasion.
Well, we caught a glimpse of Paul Anderson, the Huddersfield coach there, a member of the St Helens all-conquering team of 2006. But he hails from Castleford, emerging from the town's Red Hill Amateur Club in 1990, on then to Halifax, Bradford and St Helens. I wonder if it's a question tonight of split loyalties for him in terms of who takes home the League Leaders' Shield now that Huddersfield are out of the equation. All he'll be interested in, I think, is making sure Huddersfield finishes high as they can, and that's why this team of his, with Kafusi here, are piling the pressure on the Saints at the other end of the field, with Sean Lunt waiting at dummy half. He gets it away to Robinson, short ball then. That's solid defence, and indeed he lost it in the challenge.
Not happy, Paul Anderson, but you've got to give credit to the defence from St Helens there. Lance O'Hire is not the biggest player out there on the field of play, and that is the reason why many retired footballers don't go into the coaching scene. He knows they've missed a golden opportunity, not only to perhaps score the try, but be able to put the kick into the in-goal area, regain it, get another set of 6.
Give some credit to Lance O'Hire. He had to put himself in front of Brett Ferris, who was running at full tilt, and he stopped him. Not only did he stop him, he made him drop the ball.
Ooh, that looked as though it was a knock-on, but it said it came off the feet from the official, Richard Silverwood.
Well, St Helens won't be complaining. They'll be delighted they've got this possession with Willie Manu, but Brett Ferris in very quickly with the tackle. Roby waits, and then Roby turns the ball inside to Turner. Turner then to Amor. Amor picks himself up, plays it again to Roby. This is the danger man for St Helens, Roby.
No doubt about it. He'll be running all night from that dummy half position. This is a kick into the corner. Oh no, he's gone for... Well, it's a good kick. It's going to be awkward. It's going to hit the post.
It's very awkward. Broughton picks it up and the blue wall has arrived. O'Hire leading the chase with Mark Percival. Salford 12-0 up against Widnes. So Widnes with a weakened side against the Red Devils, and it looks as though if that stays that way over the next hour or so, that Widnes will finish 8th. But the most important thing for Widnes, they're in the playoffs for the very first time. Again, early kicking from Huddersfield, early in the tackle count. That was Jake Connor.
It's classic, and it just shows you that the Giants feel as though they are fit enough to get down that field to apply that pressure. Good work from Paul Wellens, though. This is one of the few occasions that St Helens have actually received the ball from a kick from Huddersfield and got into the opposition half.
Mark Percival loses the ball. It's a knock-on. Well, the defence from Huddersfield is cruel, and that was Josh Johnson forcing the error. And it was a loose carry.
He knows it too.
Well, there it is. The League Leaders' Shield's back in town again tonight. And if St Helens win, it will be low-key, but it will be presented here in Huddersfield for them to take home on their coach at the end of play. 14 minutes gone, 0-0. Can the Saints get their hands on that trophy, or will it go to the last match of the season for Castleford? They're in Perpignan, and it's live on Sky Sports tomorrow at 4:55 on Sky Sports 3.
Well, St Helens might have made 1 or 2 mistakes with the hands on the ball, but the defence has been brilliant in the opening 14-15 minutes here. They haven't missed a tackle yet. They've got up quickly, and I think they've closed down everything that the Giants have thrown at them so far. They just need to make sure. I can't see, though, either of these sides being able to stick at this pace and intensity.
Beautiful kick from the hooker, Lunt.
Yes, and Dawson with work to do. Lunt got a little hand on his ankle, halted the progress. He was finished off by Cudjoe and Patrick.
That's the one good thing that Paul Anderson, the Giants coach, is wary of. Is not only can Luke Robinson put the ball through, he knows that Sean Lunt, the hooker, he's very adept at that in the dummy half position. That was a very good kick into the corner.
It's Matt Dawson with his right thigh heavily bandaged. Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook out and off the bench for the Saints.
Yeah, not surprising. Nathan Brown has taken off the big fella, Mosi Masoi.
Great offload by Manu to Roby. Roby keeps the movement going to Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. He tries to go in between two, and Michael Lawrence was the man who brought him down. Here now is Turner. Turner with another good kick towards the Huddersfield end of the field, but picked up on the bounce by Broughton, and he then gives it to Aaron Murphy. And Murphy beats the first challenge, and eventually they get to him. Manu and Lance Ohio.
Vital 10-15 metres forward there by Murphy, but good work by Willie Manu. He worked hard at the first receiver there at the play the ball area. That's a good run there.
Big Ukumatai, the Tongan international, and he felt that. Did James Roby. This is Josh Johnson again now.
Well, he's got plenty of confidence, hasn't he, the prop forward. He's putting himself about. One thing the Giants are doing, they're bringing that inside pass several times. They'll do it again, will they? No.
Goes wide to Jordan Turner, and Huddersfield have reached the last tackle, so Robinson will no doubt kick again. He does, straight up in the air. Wellens is underneath this. Rolling back the years tonight, Paul Wellens.
You know, that was a disappointing end, wasn't it, to some good play for Huddersfield. It was a kick that he was under pressure. There was no real pressure on Paul Wellens. It was a gimme, really, a turnover of possession. They'd be disappointed here that they haven't been able to apply greater pressure.
Well, Danny Brough missing tonight for Huddersfield. He normally is the key. He is the linchpin for this Giants side. And as Steve-O said in the build-up, the Giants players out there tonight will be trying to prove the point that they're not necessarily a one-man team. They don't need Danny Brough just to beat some of the top sides. They can do it without him. And I'm not saying that he's not vital to the Huddersfield cause, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, and this guy is standing up to the plate. Luke Robinson, he knows he's got to take that responsibility, and he's doing it very well indeed.
Cudjoe with a stuttering little run, and Amor got to him with LaFranchi and Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. Lunt waits. Here comes Akumatai again, tries to ride the challenge once more of Roby.
There's got to be a kick into the corner.
That's Connor. It goes high. It's measured as well. And Wellens, oh, well, he nearly fumbled it. He was under pressure from Joe Wardle, but his experienced hand is Paul Wellens. And Dawson goes down on the first tackle. Look,
Great
a little
take.
fumble there.
Yeah, just on the fingertips, didn't it? Well, you know, a lot of people say that sometimes rugby league can be so defensive that it's boring, but it's not. This has been defence, it's been rough and it's tough. But I'll tell you something, I'm thoroughly enjoying this.
And Jordan Turner, he goes early in the tackle count with a kick downfield.
Not the best, though.
Broughton is underneath it. Broughton can motor when he gets the opportunity. Saints knew that. That's why Sia Soliola got to him very, very quickly indeed. Another of the substitutes used by Nathan Brown here tonight.
Good work from McCarthy-Scarsbrook. He got out of the traps very, very early indeed. He's injected a lot more pace and power in the Saints forward line.
Huddersfield
this
have
could be
beaten
a penalty.
Unbeaten the last 6 matches, Huddersfield, and get the penalty. They've won 5 and drawn 1 of those last 6.
James Roby is complaining to the official. He said, I was being held down.
Eddie, and in those 6 games they've played with a high completion rate, they've played with an awful lot of composure. You can see here that the urgency to try and get up from Jermaine McGilvray and James Roby on the floor. That's why they've given the penalty away. They've been very aggressive when they go forward. They've been very aggressive when they're defending. And Saints are struggling. Saints need a mistake from Huddersfield to get into this game, because far too many times they're just bringing the ball away, coming up with a poor kick on the last play. And then obviously in the first time that they're playing the ball, Huddersfield, they're in Saints' half. But
that was weird there, Tez. They had a penalty and they took a tap. Why didn't they kick into the corner? Take it at least another 15 metres forward.
And here they've lost the ball. McCarthy Scarsbrook forcing the error.
You might wonder why they didn't kick a goal, Mike.
Well, Danny Brook's not there. Maybe that's the reason why.
It doesn't look from the opening quarter. We're going to see a lot of tries in this game, isn't it? The intensity, the commitment for both of these sides to defend.
No, you're spot on. And as I say, I just could not believe it. They're 25 metres away from the goal line, and they take a tap.
Yeah, but Steve, sometimes they're in good field position because they centre field. They can split the field, whether they attack left, they attack right, or whether they just go to the corner and try and get out a certain player.
I still like to have a sniff of that whitewash, mate.
Midway through this first half, Percival struggling to get out of his own 10-metre zone for St Helens. Hull have edged ahead of Leeds at the KC Stadium. A match that matters not in terms of results and final placings to Leeds, but they don't really want to head into the playoffs with 5 straight defeats behind them. And here's a penalty for St Helens. This ball stolen on the ground.
This is what they need. This is exactly what the Saints need. See Soliola. Well, the referee, Richard Silverwood, saying that this ball is stripped, and you can see that it is from Sean Lunt. They need to get some energy back in those legs, in those lungs. They get the ball to halfway now, and Nathan Brown and Kieran Cunningham know that this is a key part of the game. Halfway through the first half, they look to shift the ball, but again, they need to go forward.
First penalty of the match for St Helens. Can they make hay?
That's great running from Roby. That's a key factor. Oh, well taken there by Turner.
Yes, it was round his bootlaces. That's a good ball from Manu to Percival. The flooding forward here. Makinson! Makinson gets the first try for Saints. Well, on the back of the first penalty of the match, St Helens bring their supporters to life and bring their league leaders' shield bid to life as well. Makinson, try number 25. Joel Monaghan leading the Super League try-scoring charts. That only counts in the regular rounds. It's Makinson's chance tonight to overtake him.
This is the penalty. It was claimed that Lunt was the culprit, pulling the ball out. Good play the ball, and look at this from Roby. He pulls in the defence. What a take from Turner. Outstanding there. He comes on the angle and then looks for the winger. Nothing was going to stop him. He's had a great season, Makinson.
James Roby knows exactly when to run. He sees that the markers aren't set, so all of a sudden, Huddersfield are in scramble mode. You've got players running in. The ball goes wide. The ball goes to Percival, who in then sets the ball to Tommy Makinson. What an incredible season that youngster's had this year.
So Tommy Makinson opens the scoring here. This is his 99th career appearance. He got 2 goals against Warrington last week. He got 2 tries here in the controversial cup win in April. Did Tommy Makinson. 6 tries in his last 5, none in the last 2 games though, and he's suddenly broken that duck. And 25 tries now for him this season. And the kick will be taken by Mark Percival,
who delivered Eddie an amazing pass. You know, he's had a very, very physical first 20 minutes. He's made some good tackles. He's been bashed about when he's carried the ball by Huddersfield Giants. Delivered the accurate pass that got them the first try. Can he add to it here now from out wide?
Well, he's kicked 32 goals this year, has Percival. And he stays on 32 goals. And Saints stay on 4. It's Huddersfield 0, Saints 4.
When Saints are playing like this and they are earning the right to go forward, James Roby is one of the most intelligent hookers in the game. You can see that a number of Huddersfield players couldn't control him. As soon as he gets that ball away and it goes wide, Saints were always going to score that try.
It's amazing thing, Eddie. That was the first clean break of the night. That indicates how rough and tough the defensive field had been. But that was really out of the top drawer.
Well, a cup win here for the Saints in April. It was tinged with controversy. Danny Brough will argue, I think, to his dying day that the drop goal attempt that he had went between the uprights, but the match referee Phil Bentham read it otherwise. That was chalked off. And then a few minutes later, Luke Walsh came up with a drop goal and he won the match for the Saints. They made progress.
Well, good teams in sport can score tries when they've not necessarily been on front. You can see you'd expect the Giants to be ahead. They dominated, they made over 100 metres more. The tackle success is pretty even. You'd expect the Giants to lead with the dominance in that opening quarter, but it's not going that way.
It isn't going that way. And here is another try for Roby. 2 in quick succession for the Saints. The Giant supporters believe that the pass before the last one, the penultimate pass, was forward. They're unhappy, but St Helens are delighted. Roby gets over underneath the sticks, fed by the veteran Paul Wellens, and James Roby with the try. That's the 80th of his St Helens career, by the way, and in the context of this race for the League Leaders Shield 2014, there can't have been many more important than that.
Tremendous stuff from Roby. Again, taking control. And once the offload was done, it was great work there, but that looked forward to Wellens. The officials had not seen it. He started it off, did Roby, and then he made sure he finished it. That is definitely forward. No doubt in my mind, the pass from Gary Wheeler. And the old stage of Paul Wellens put it through, and you can hear the home crowd. They're not happy at all, but take nothing away from the fact that Saints kept this ball alive.
You're right, Steve. Well, that pass was forward, but you've got to play to the whistle, and I think St Helens did that. James Roby again out of dummy half. They won the floor, they won the battle of the play of the ball. He gets out. Gary Wheeler's little flick pass to Paul Wellens. I'm sure when the referee sees that again, he'll know that he's made a mistake.
Well, it's all about a game of opinions, this, and there is a distinct feeling in the commentary box. It was forward. I must say that I mightn't share that opinion, but my opinion matters for nothing. This is the ref's view. This is what he saw.
And that's a forward.
It's tough, Eddie, to call it, but that still looked forward to me, but we're seeing it in slow motion here.
And Stuart, you agree it was forward, I think?
I agree it was forward. He slightly twisted his body and it's come out forward. The thing for Richard Silverwood there, he's just slightly ahead of play, so the ball's coming at him, so he might see that as level.
And if you look at the hand, it actually comes out of the back of the hand, but you say it flicked forward out of the back of the hand.
It did. His body's just twisted as he's passed the ball out of the back of his hand.
Well, I'll bow to the greater knowledge of my learned colleagues here.
Singular or plural?
I don't know what the adjective is for three-handed or triple, but yes.
Well, Walmsley not too happy about it, but you've got to take it. A lot of credit is the coach, Nathan Brown. You know, Mossy Masoi, he was struggling out there, and then he brought on McCarthy Scarsbrook, and the Londoner has completely changed this St Helens outfit. He has worked and worked and worked to get him into that position.
Well, it's pretty clear, and you've seen for the last few weeks, if St Helens are to get to the grand final and win it, it's through winning the middle of the field. They've got big men who basically run from one set of goalposts to the other. They don't necessarily have to go wide, but if they run hard and strong and find a quick play of the ball, James Roby will do his thing and the damage will be done. That's their plan to get 4 weeks tomorrow, isn't it, Eddie? To Manchester and lift the big prize.
Yes, it is, and I think Huddersfield have benefited from a slightly dubious call there from Richard Silverwood. That didn't look like a knock-on.
But it certainly didn't leave his hands, so he was still in possession of it, so it shouldn't have been called as a knock-on.
That's a knock-on. That is.
The players are all in.
They've all gone charging in here at Walmsley because somebody is flat out.
I think it's Luke Robinson.
Yeah, it's a scrum half that's down, I'm sure. It looked late from mine.
We've seen it so many times in Super League. When the halfback's going at the line, it's the inside pressure. You can see that Walmsley chases really hard.
And this is the problem when the little fellas hang on to the ball, they can get taken out by the big fellas.
Well, I think there's contact with the head there, with the shoulder, and that's the issue. And it almost takes me back to Murrayfield a few years ago when Nathan Brown was talking about protecting the little players, and there's certainly contact with the head there.
Well, for mine, this is a red one. The shoulder is well and truly into the jaw area.
Well, there's not much difference between that and Joel Moon, and he's off. He is off, Alex Walmsley.
That's costly. That is really costly. When you're chasing that hard, when you get to the player, you've got to make sure that you hit him legally. I know that Alex Walmsley's 6'6", 6'7". Luke Robinson's not the biggest, but he must know that. He knows who he's playing against. And when he gets to that player, he can't do that.
Well, it's costly in terms of this match. And Eamon McManus, and I'm sure Nathan Brown and those players will realise it could be costly in the playoffs that begin next week as well. Joel Moon, remember, he got 2 for a very similar effort against St Helens.
Joel Moon was different because the player had possession, Eddie. It wasn't a late tackle.
But it made contact with the head with the shoulder is what I'm saying.
If you make contact with the head, irrespective of which was worse than the other, there's Robinson. Hopefully he's going to recover. But St Helens have just ripped the Giants apart with 2 wonderful passages of play. They've taken a 10-0 lead, and now they've put themselves under their own pressure.
I've got a lot of time for Alex Walmsley as a player, but that was unacceptable. If I was Alex Walmsley's teammate, I'd be absolutely furious. The game means so much, and you've come up with a tackle like that.
You wouldn't be too chuffed if you were Luke Robinson either, because that was a contact with the head, and that might mean that Luke Robinson plays no further part in this match tonight either.
And that will be a shame, because he really was dynamic in the build-up to that.
Well, 27, nearly 30 minutes of the match gone, and so in that case, 50 minutes the Saints have to play with a man down.
And for 50 minutes, Jake Connor's got to act as Danny Brough and Luke Robinson all rolled into one here. He's got to control and direct and hope that one or two of his teammates, like Chris Bailey, also play a role here in getting them back into this match.
I'm with you, Phil. Bailey has to take responsibility as well.
Well, Lund took responsibility, got the pass away, but I don't know whether this try is going to be given yet. Is it Kumatai? Yes, it is. He gets himself off the ground. He thinks he's scored. Huddersfield thinks he has. What say you, Stuart?
Well, again, it's a grounding issue with a lot of players around. Referee hasn't got a good view on it. Does he get the ball down on the ground? Well, it's on top of a player there. I don't think it's being grounded over the line yet.
That's no try. Nowhere near terra firma.
That's wonderful play by Paul Helens
and Roby.
I think the question from Richard Silverwood was, did it actually touch the ground on the first time it went down? I think he's fairly confident on the second bit. It's when he goes down, but I think if it does touch, it's going to be short. We'll see from here. It's not on the ground there when he goes down, and it's never grounded over the line, so I think this will be a play the ball.
No try is the decision. Held up, so tackle 3 from 10 metres. And there's Connor, and that's Cudjoe, and this is Wardle. Cudjoe is pushed out of the dummy half roll by Sean Lunty, goes short and then goes forward to Aaron Murphy.
Well, you very rarely see that from the experienced Sean Lunt. Forward pass when you're in a wonderful position. Well, he looks calm and collected about it. Paul Anderson, you perhaps know that percentage-wise it's got to swing the pendulum towards his side. 13 against 12, but so often we see it in the past where the team that has had a man sent off really knuckle in. They've got 10 points difference to play around with.
Well, this is a complete reversal of the fortunes in the cup tie, you may remember, because Brett Ferris was sent off for Huddersfield in the Challenge Cup against the Saints, and the Saints went on to win that match by the narrowest of margins. And by the way, the referee Richard Silverwood did ask for confirmation from the video referee where the contact was made by Alex Walmsley, and if it was Alex Walmsley, and he was given confirmation on each of those questions. So they're working together to get things absolutely spot on, the officials, and as we approach the playoffs and the important stage of the season, or the more important stage of the season well done to the referees for that.
And well done to Jordan Turner. He realises the importance of being able to get that ball off the field of play, but way down into the Giants' quarter. That's quick thinking from Turner. He knows they're going to be fighting uphill for the rest of the game, and the kicking game is going to be so vital.
Looks like there might be a dislocated finger there that needs a little bit of attention.
Nathan Brown is a fine coach. He knows what it's all about. He realizes that they've got to muscle up slightly to make sure that perhaps they only put one marker in at the play the ball area and try to spread out into the three-quarter line just to try to alleviate the advantage that Huddersfield should have.
So the Saints still lead by 10 points to 0. We're over the half-hour mark, and they're down to 12 men with Alex Walmsley sent from the field by Richard Silverwood for a high late challenge on Luke Robinson with the shoulder, and Luke Robinson too is off the field.
Well, the one thing that St Helens have done, Eddie, I said it at the start of the game, we're now half an hour into this match. The defence is absolutely fantastic. They've made over 120 tackles and missed just one. If that defence can stay at that level, well, 10 points will be enough, but it's a real test with 12 men and the pace of that first 30 minutes.
Dawson takes that tackle. There is Roby. And this is Makinson.
Be interesting also to see whether St Helens opt to kick early, not wait until the last when Huddersfield will have dropped the two wingers. They'll maybe go on the third or even the fourth. That's a good run. He really has put spark into this St Helens side, this fella.
Roby to Ohio. In back play, Wellens and Ferris collided.
Ferris came off worse as well.
That's Jordan Turner. Here come the Saints again with Josh Jones. A kick towards the corner. Jones hits the deck. He appeals that he was taken out. The referee has none of it. It's the turnover on that first tackle for Huddersfield. And here comes now Jermaine McGilvray. They're flying in, our Saints.
And they're flying in as well. He's a very thin 10 metres, I'm afraid, Mr. Silverwood. But again, it was a very good kick into the corner. They've got the tactics right of Saints.
And it's an outstanding set of 6 defensively thus far, and continues to be for St Helens. Only 21 metres gained by Huddersfield. They might gain a few more here with the kick from Cudjoe, and they do. And that will go away from Wellens and then come back to him. And down he goes under the challenge from Joe Wardle. Lance Ohio. And Makinson.
Just basic rugby league now from St Helens to hang on. They'll try to get to the half-time mark, still having that 10-point advantage. So nothing fancy. Just get through the basics, make sure they keep possession.
They're doing that. This is Mark Flanagan. 4 tackles gone for St Helens. Roby waits. Soliola, oh, great run, he goes through 2. He's got support from Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook. That's a good tackle by Jody Broughton. He wants to get on with it quickly, plays the ball to Roby. Roby then finds Wellens. Wellens, oh, he's trapped for the moment. He gets it away to Roby again. And Roby trying to dance his way through, gets a kick in, but it's too deep.
Not a bad option, though. He's a live wire, he's in top form, James Roby. He really didn't sparkle last week against Warrington. And let's not forget, we've got the Four Nations coming up, and James Roby, he knows he's under pressure from the likes of Darryl Clark from Castleford. They'll take 2 hookers down under, that's for sure. So he really wants to sparkle tonight, does James Roby.
There's a lot of good hookers. When C. Soliola made that break, I thought he passed that ball too early. He could have took a couple more steps.
That was a great offload that found Lunt. Here's Jake Connor.
I think there's points on there for Eddie in this last 5.5 minutes. There really are, because of the nature of the game's gone in the first half, and I think the Giants sense that. They really need to be the team to score next, to lift the supporters and lift themselves.
Lund gets it away to David Fayumu, and Patrick had to use every trick in the book to keep hold of that.
High bomb, right towards the sticks. No, he's going down the blind side.
Lund, he goes one way, goes the other, then slides the kick in. And, did
Is that a try?
No, he grounded it. I think the Saints man, Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook, grounded.
He's not happy. Paul Anderson is furious. I don't know why. It turned out to be a pretty good kick.
Yes, it did.
Well, he grounds that ball, Louis McCarthy, doesn't he? What a brilliant take. You can see he grounds the ball behind the line. There's no problem with that.
And it's very rare you find a prop forward that'll drop back and read the game so efficiently as the man McCarthy-Scarsbrook.
They're the intelligent
he's picked up
players,
a knock
Steve.
as well. He's picked up a knock for his pains as the big fellow. You got bang in the side of the head off the knee of Lon Patrick.
See quite clearly that he grounded the ball.
He's been sensational this year, I think. You look at Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook, he's played in the back row, he's played in the centre, he's played prop forward, he's come on, he's made a real impact in this. James Roby has definitely prospered from Louis McCarthy coming onto the pitch.
So it's Dream Team announcement on Monday. Where would you play Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook in your dream team then, Terry? Up front, loose forward, second row, centres? Where would you have him?
Well, it depends on it depends if you're what sort of coach you are, because there's a lot of coaches, Eddie.
Well, no, the criteria is
forward.
The criteria is forward. But the criteria is for the Dream Team selection, you pick him in the position that he has played in.
Well, I would pick Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook in that side. I would pick Louis McCarthy as one of the props.
I agree. Simple as that. And as we said earlier, you know, sometimes you get a great coach who perhaps just meddles with them and say, play 20 minutes and I'll take you off, irrespective of what's happening. But you could see quite clearly that Mossy Masoi was very, very tired, not getting through a lot of hard work. And soon as they brought on number 10, McCarthy-Scarsbrook, the game changed in St. Helens way. But that's a good run there by Cudjoe.
Yes, it is, and we've got 5 minutes of this first half remaining. Salford 18-0 up against Widnes here. The Saints 10-0 up against Huddersfield. Saints down to 12 men. Huddersfield looking to get something as we approach half-time. Ukumatai looking for a penalty. None forthcoming from the whistle. And so here is Connor, taking on the experienced heads of Kyle Moore and Paul Wellens. Now Kopjak. He gets it then to Fayumu. And David Fayumu is halted less than half a metre away. Luntor, that was good. Was a good play. Knock on. No, it's a penalty. It's a penalty.
He came round the side.
I thought he'd knocked the arm. I thought he hadn't knocked the ball. Forced the error, but the referee says not standing square.
Well, there's quite a few that never got anywhere near the goal line.
Well, that's 10 consecutive players. They've got 6 more here, and they need 6 points. You know, every team needs some workmen and some craftsmen. They need the Giants now to find a player who can create a try as well as one who can score it.
I'll go for Lunt with a dummy on his own.
Not this time. He gets it. It wasn't the best pass either to Ukumatai. It's Saints who are muscling up well in defence here, the 12 men. Back it comes now to Chris Bailey. He's shaped to give it to Lon Patrick, and again 4, 5, 6 blue jerseys around him. Lunt's waiting, tips it on to Fayumu. Back it comes to Connor. Oh, that's brilliant, and that's fantastic from Connor. That is tremendous from Jack Connor. It looked like at one stage Saints had taken him out, but he kept going, the young man. 19 years of age, in for the mercurial Danny Brough, and Jake Connor gets exactly what Huddersfield required right on the stroke of half-time. But that was a wonderful effort from the teenager.
Well, Barry McDermott said before the game started that the one thing that Jake Connor has is confidence. And boy, you need to have confidence to do this. Oh, tremendous stuff. It looked as though it was going to be a shoulder back out, and then got the arm out. Sensational.
What Barry also said was he's an absolute runner. He's an out-and-out runner of the ball. He's not scared of who he's playing against, and that's what you want from a youngster. When he gets his opportunity, he's got to grab it with both hands, and he started the game with an awful lot of confidence. to come up with this play when there's an awful lot of Saints traffic around him. He gets around Kyle Limo and grounds that ball. Excellent play.
And once more, Jake Connor is going to kick the conversion of his own try. So, he makes it 6 points for Huddersfield. It's 10 for St Helens, but just at the right time, Huddersfield come up with something.
And you know, when you scored a try like this as a youngster with little experience, and you're just before half-time, the adrenaline will be going right the way through his body. But the confidence boost that it will give, not only to him, but all to the Giants, absolutely superb. Did he knock on? No. The fingertips had control. Only just. But that's all that counts.
Well, the thing is on that, Steve-O, that he's touched the ball before the grounding. It's come away, and then he's got his hand back on the ball. And it's all down to whether he actually had his hand on the ball before it touched the ground. And that's the key.
Well, Richard Silverwood was confident enough in his own vision to give that without reference upstairs.
That should have been a penalty. McCarthy Scarborough well and truly over the top of McGilvray.
Patrick.
It's getting a bit tasty, and you can see James Roby over the shoulder too. This could erupt before the hooter.
Well, it's erupted once. That's why the Saints are down to 12 men. Faimu will play the ball to Lunt. Here comes Bailey looking for a pass on the inside. It never went, but he makes some good meters forward, gets to the last tackle, and here comes Lunt again, and Lunt tries to turn them around. Oh, and they're going to... Oh, that's great done. That's very well done. Great play that was by Matty Dawson.
Unbelievable. He looked for all the world he was going to be caught in. Oh, and that was high from Bailey as well.
Now there's some low-flying aircraft out there. Makinson, halted by Ferris and Kopjak.
Well, it's a long way from Leeds Bradford Airport, Eddie, but I'm telling you, you're right.
Kyle Amor goes down on tackle number 4. Don't think Huddersfield will get the ball back if things go according to the St Helens plan here. Surely they'll just dump this into touch, won't they?
Yep.
He's in no hurry to play the ball, but he does. Hang on. And, well, he took the chance to Gary. Sky Sports 3. So a vital 40 minutes for Saints, a vital 40 minutes for Castleford coming up here tonight, as Huddersfield aiming to claw back a 10-0 deficit. They're 10-6 down at the start of this second half against the Saints, who, remember, reduced to 12 men with Alex Walmsley sent off, and they have the entire second half to go at the 12-man Saints to the Giants. And there he is, Alex Walmsley, in the stands and watching and keeping his fingers crossed that despite the fact that he's off the field, Saints maybe can do it.
Well, the other thing that St Helens will want to do is get to the other end of the field. Just look at the territorial advantage that Huddersfield had. 6 times as many play the balls close to the opponent's try line in that first 40 minutes. I suppose that didn't make that territorial advantage pay on the scoreboard. But if that happens again in the second half, I do suspect the Giants will put more points on.
Well, I did say before the break, as we went just before this second half started, that Saints haven't won here since March 2010 in the Super League against Huddersfield. But overall, they have got a very good record against the Giants. They've won 29 of 36 meetings since 1998. They've won 11 of 17 here. All that is history. It's the present that matters for St Helens. The fact that they need a point, the fact if they get it, they go home with the League Leaders' Shield. If they don't, the agony goes on for another 24 hours. That's a beautiful ball round the corner. Here comes Akumatai, bumps through Wellens, tries to go through the next line of defence, cannot do so, and Akumatai is halted. This is the last tackle. They're 9 metres away, and Lunt feigned to go left, went right, and Lunt gets over for the first try for the Huddersfield Giants. The scores are level. The scores are level with a kick to come. And don't tell me history will repeat itself for the Saints in the second half here, and things will go from bad to worse as it did last week against Warrington. Nathan Brown with a crisis again right at the start of the second half. And Huddersfield level with the kick to come. Drama in the Super League this year, right the way down to the last 40 minutes of any season.
Well, they took the sucker punch, did Saints, that is for sure. It was on the last. They anticipated the kick. They didn't realise that the hooker Sean Lunt. But what about the offload there? Sensational by Kayemu. And then the big fella, Ukuma Tai, and then they get it. They wanted a quick play the ball. They think he's going to kick. They threw the dummy. He went underneath and he scores. Kayemu cannot believe it.
Jordan Turner, he goes up, he exposes Kayemu.
This is a big kick for young Jake Connor. This is a big kick for Huddersfield. It's a massive kick for St Helens, and the Giants are ahead.
And an even bigger kick for the Tigers, Eddie.
Yes, I bet they're watching in the south of France somehow.
We're talking about James Roby being intelligent, but what about Sean Lunt? Jordan Turner goes up far too quickly. Kayemu, well, he's left just defending on his heels. When he tries to get there, he just can't stop that man from scoring the try. But what about the footwork from David Fayumu?
Well, Sean Lunt, if you look at his playing CV, he's a former Castleford Academy player. He's not doing it for the Tigers, he's doing it for the Giants tonight. But at the moment, Huddersfield are leading by 2 points. It means the door is slightly ajar, and the Tigers, if it stays like this, if the result stays like this, Castleford will crown the most remarkable season tomorrow if they can beat the Catalan Dragons. But that is no easy beat, believe me.
Yeah, it'll be quite difficult down in the south of France, but don't write off St Helens. There's still a long way to go. Okay, they're down to 12 men, but they've got the ability out there. They know that they've got the skill factor, especially that man that's doing the tackle, James Roby.
Connor's having a while of a game as well. This has got snow on it. Well claimed by Dawson. Whoa, he had to...
that was it a straight knee?
Was it a collision with his own man? Because there's a Saints player struggling as well.
No, it's Jermaine McGilvray. Just runs straight into him.
Now, is there a duty of care by McGilvray, Stuart?
Well, I think this is a total accident. There's a lot of players around there, and I think that's just an accident. I don't think there's any foul play at all.
No, it's tough to stop there, Eddie. Like, Jermaine McGilvray is just chasing really hard. Matt Dawson catches that ball. An excellent take under the pressure. And it'd be harsh to say Jermaine McGilvray went in there to, well, give a penalty away.
Terry, don't scowl. I'm asking the question, that's all. I'm just asking the question of the experts.
I think it was an accident, Eddie. Sadly, it looks as though he's injured quite badly.
Yes,
there's definitely contact with the leg. Was it the knee?
Well, he needs some medical attention, obviously, and he's saying, by the looks of things, it's my shoulder. It is, and oh, yes, it was. It was just a collision with McGilvray. By the way, it's 4 years since the Saints have won here. It is 4 years since Castleford have won in the south of France. This League Leaders' Shield race isn't over yet. Graham Beecroft on the sideline.
Yeah, the news from the Huddersfield dressing room at half-time, Paul Anderson's message was just to be patient, use the clock, don't panic. Well, they certainly set off on fire, but I know exactly what they mean, and they've got the best possible start to this second half, haven't they? Luke Robinson still being assessed, by the way. He went straight down the dressing room after that injury. He is still being assessed down there, so the probability is, I think, that he's not going to play any further part in this game. Nathan Brown, well, the message there was hang in there. They want the same commitment. They certainly do now, but they've got to do more than hang in there. They've now got to score at the other end of the field.
Yes, they have, and they've not scored more than 2 tries in the last few weeks of the Saints, so scoring points suddenly has become a problem for St Helens. It's dried up for them.
It has. You know, if you tuned in to watch last night's game, you might recall seeing a Warrington player, James Laithwaite, leave the field in a similar circumstance to what we're going to see here now. A player going off, I think, on a spinal board with his neck protected. Well, the good news is for James Laithwaite and the Warrington Wolves, he was fine later on that evening. He's recovered. But John Wilkin looks on, along with 1 or 2 other injured Saints. He won't be back this season, and
he hopes he will be. Earl Crabtree for the Giants. They've seen him on the big screen. He's a big favourite in this part of the world, is Big Earl. Stuart, just let's clarify this position as we have the player on the ground, and looks like he's about to be stretchered off. I'm laughing at the mask, not at the incident we've just seen. This will count, won't it, in terms of St Helens interchange, whereas the Luke Robinson being taken off, that will not count for Huddersfield because that was as a result of foul play.
That's right. If the referee puts an incident on report, sin bins a player or dismisses a player, then any injury occurring from that incident of foul play, a player can go off without the cost of a substitution. So this hasn't been placed on report, it hasn't been given as foul play, therefore it will count as a substitution if they go off.
Well, Matt Dawson, the former Huddersfield player, he was signed on a 2-year deal in the close season. He is obviously in need of medical attention. Danny Brough is on the phone. I wonder if he realises that Leeds are beating Hull and Salford are beating Widnes in tonight's other 2 matches. I don't know whether it is injury with Danny. The word was it was simply a question of resting the likes of Big Earl and Danny Brough.
Well,
Scott Cricks has been out for a couple, the full back. So
there has been plenty of talk in regards that Danny Brough has been carrying an ankle injury for quite some time, and the word is, I'm not saying that it's true words, that when the season is finished he will be going in for a slight operation on that ankle.
You're not starting gossip, are you, Steve O'Hare?
No, I'm just relating what some of my contacts get, and this was wonderful though, wasn't it? As you can see, if you go over the top, hookers have the ability to just duck underneath the swinging arm, but this is all that counts at the moment. Forget about the scoreline, forget about the game. Let's just hope that this youngster is going to be A-OK.
Well, assuming that he does fully recover, and we all hope he does very quickly, then I think Paul Wellens and his side have got to work out how do we get from this end of the field where we are currently now to the other end more often. They didn't do it often enough in the first half, and yet the conversion, when they made a break, they scored some tries, didn't they? And that was clinical from them. They can't rely on defending or playing at this part of the pitch for the next 35 minutes.
Well, fingers crossed for Matt Dawson. Hopefully he'll be fine. Obviously won't play any part in this game, but obviously Saints now have to reshuffle, and I could see Josh Jones going out onto the left edge, playing out there, because when Saints started, he started with 4 forwards on the bench.
Well, this is the way the table at the moment stands as results are going just now. It's a live scoreboard. As it stands, the Saints are just a point clear of Wigan and Huddersfield and Castleford. They are 2 points behind them, but the points difference for Castleford means if it stays as it is now with a Huddersfield victory, Castleford can claim the League Leaders' Shield with just a win in the south of France.
Would that probably marks these goal-kicking accuracy? We'd have to check all the goal-kicking records for St Helens and for Castleford this season. But I do think really those extra 21 points, maybe at times, he's had a unique style, hasn't he, Mark Steve, when he's kicked goals this season, but now they could be important here should they win tomorrow.
Yes, and Hull supporters will be hoping he carries on that sort of form next year. So sadly Matt Dawson leaves the field, and thoughts are with him. We hope everything is okay for him. Sean Lump, by the way, such a change in this Giants team since he returned to the side. He's now scored 4 tries in his last 5 outings for Huddersfield. He's hitting form, the man in the tackle there wearing the number 9 jersey for Huddersfield, at just the right time.
It certainly is, Sean Lump, and of course that try could really just turn things around. But you've got to sort of look at his opposite number as well, James Roby. In the first half, it was 2 breaks from Roby that created those tries for St Helens. He's their key man, and he knows it. Huddersfield have to keep a good eye on him, especially when he jumps into the dummy half position.
Well, only 5 minutes of the second half played, a long delay because of the Matt Dawson injury.
Patience is going to be the key, Eddie, for the Giants. They really have, just to get play into a good position, kicking game, put it into the corner. They've got to tire this St Helens side. Remember, they're down to 12 men. They're having to work overtime to fill that 1-man gap loss.
30 points to 0. Salford are ahead against Widnes. David Fayumu, well, did they want to tackle him? Well, Roby does.
I don't think they'll go for a 1 point.
Robinson's okay. He's on the phone. Maybe he and Danny Brough are having an exchange on the telephone. But looks like Luke Robinson's out of the dressing room, which is good news for them, but he's tracksuited up. Maybe he will not be returning tonight. And this ball is all over the shop here. St Helens have got it. St Helens have got it back. And Danny's hung up on Luke if he was on the phone to him.
I'll tell you what, they took a huge gamble there. Did St Helens allowed that ball to bounce? It was good work there, wasn't it, by Murphy? Now then, the biggest problem for Saints, can they get anywhere near the halfway line? And they should get that. And this will be a huge help for them.
Yeah, Sean Lunt a little bit over-enthusiastic. Gets him down once, so says, well, get down again.
Good work by Kyle Emo as well. He sort of assisted himself to get down. They know how important it is. Get the penalties in this second half. We saw the face of Paul Wellens, the Saints skipper. He was saying to them, come on, this is not a lost cause.
Oh, by no means this is a lost cause for St Helens. Not by any stretch of the imagination, but with 12 men on the field against 13, and yet another injury, and boy, hasn't it been a season of injuries for St Helens. Don't think any team has suffered quite as badly as they have.
Sorry, Eddie.
It isn't over, but the fat lady's warming up.
Well, the key ingredient to success is hard work, and what Saints need to do, they've got to forget that they've got 12 men. They've got to bottle up the middle. They've got to run for each other. Every time that they run like they are now, they've got to push up with a teammate. And they can't come up with mistakes like that.
That's obstruction. Wellens is furious. I don't know whether he's annoyed with the referee or annoyed with his teammates for this. Either or.
Yeah, well, he could see McCarthy Scarsbrook.
Well, he ran straight into him, didn't he?
But not only that, pushes him away. And that makes it quite easy for the official to pick out. Watch, bump. Well, it was controversial at the start of this season, wasn't it? The obstruction rule. And most of the teams and the players, they sorted it out to try to run into the gap, not run into the player. Failed on that occasion.
So here comes Craig Kopczak again, the substitute, the Welsh international. Bailey gets the ball away to Connor. Whoa, how about that from Connor in the face of Willie Manu? Get out the way, says the teenager. Here's Kopczak again.
Great work as well by Chris Bailey. We said when they lost Luke Robinson that Bailey would have to fill in. Ferris tries to throw the dummy.
They reach the fourth tackle. They're 20 metres away, the Giants. Wardle, and it goes to Connor again. He just pops it up to David Fayumu. Flanagan and Roby deal with the threat. Roby seems to have been all over the park tonight. Here's Ferris. Slides a kick in behind Makinson, and Makinson with work to do. The ball was up. It wasn't grounded over the line or on the line by Makinson, so it's a goal line dropout.
That's all they need to do. The Giants get the kick in. They know they've got the numbers. They know they've got the intensity. Good work by the fullback, Aaron Murphy. Makinson had nowhere to go. He shakes his head in disbelief, but that ball was up on the ground. He didn't get it down. Good work by Murphy.
This is a dangerous time for Saints. They've made the mistake up near Huddersfield's try line. Now they conceded a dropout and they're under real pressure.
Here comes Kopczak again, straight at Kyle Amor. Lunt is barking out the instructions, asking for an effort from the Giants. David Fayumu will take it forward again. They're inside the 20. Only 2 tackles gone, 4 remaining this set of 6. Lunt goes to the right and finds Bailey. Bailey then gets the ball away to Cudjoe. He was tackled immediately. He received that ball. That's scrambling defence from St Helens. Here goes Lunt again. Danger here. He's found Fayumu. Fayumu's lost it.
Boy, that was worth a try, though.
What about the tackle? Who was it who stopped him there over the line? James Roby again. Not only did he stop him, but they lost the ball and they're looking to counter-attack from deep here.
And Roby's all just about now getting back into the attacking line. He took an almighty clatter then. Well, if they lose Roby, I don't know what they'll do, St Helens.
Yeah, well, he's the key factor, we know that. And the skipper, Paul Wellens, is urging his side on. But this is a good field position.
Amor to his feet. Roby recovered somehow. What a tough character he is. Manu is wrestled to the floor. Could have been a penalty. Could easily have been a penalty.
Oh, I think he tried to con the referee there.
Wellens down the line. And then off the fingertips, off the Saints. And is that Makinson now has gone down in a heap?
Yep.
Well, it's a great kick from Paul Wellens, wasn't it? I mean, he couldn't do much. He's tipped it forward. He's knocked it forward.
Murphy, the right arm, right into the rib cage. Watch this. Boom. That hurts.
And the ball's touched the touch in goal post. That means it's a 20-metre restart, and that's why they've gone over there.
Well, Makinson stays where he is because he felt that.
Certainly does, and if it's not a broken rib, it's a rib cartilage, and I can assure you that either one, they're just as painful. And he will have to play on with considerable pain throughout this game. It does not go away when the rib cage is rattled like that.
Well, he's jogging back into the defensive line.
Don't be pushing, Josh.
Cudjoe.
These are good tactics by the Giants as well. Nothing spectacular, they don't have to. I know it's only 2 points in front.
Bailey spinning. Jones all over him. Lunt wants to get on with it quickly.
Get into the opposition half, which they've done.
Wukumatai.
Another drive, another kick into the corner.
This is Bailey. Right, centre field, midway inside the Saints half. There's Lunt, shaping to kick, booms it wide. It looked forward, and it was.
Paul Anderson will be furious. What on earth? They don't need to do that.
Yeah, but you remember, I've got Danny Buff's not there, Luke Robinson's not there, so they've played 26 rounds with one of those commanding the ball on the last play. They're absent, and the hooker, well, he's had a brain explosion, hasn't he? He's tried the long ball, tried something a little different, and it's not come off. He's still not turned over the ball at the back part of the field here. If they keep the Saints in this half, they'd win the game.
Phil, a little kick into the in-goal area, they could have got another set of 6. It's all important about possession, and they could suffer from this.
Amor goes down under that challenge from Antonio Kafusi. Roby again. Ooh, that was forward too. That was more forward than the original one from Sean Lunt, actually.
Spot on.
Roby again.
It squared it up. He's the key.
I think Saints know that. I think Huddersfield know that.
Certainly forward.
Flanagan.
Willie Mano was in
through.
front.
Aaron Murphy, and good tackling by Jordan Turner.
He's done everything that's called upon him, hasn't he, Aaron Murphy? He really has been solid at the back. That's going to be a penalty. He shouted away and failed to do it. Mr. Flanagan, and you've just cost your side 30 metres upfield.
And they're little efforts that don't help your side. When Huddersfield get the ball, just have a little look at what they're doing. They're attacking Saints big man. Kylie Moore is out on his feet at the minute. Whether they're going one side of the rut to the other side of the rut, and then when it's Saints' turn to bring the ball forward, they've got no energy. And by giving penalties away like that, that doesn't help the cause.
Here goes Kofusi. Again, Mark Flanagan in the tackle there, number 15. His dad, Terry, former assistant coach here at Huddersfield. Here's a Kumatai. Tend to keep it in the family in rugby league, don't they?
Certainly do. And Paul Anderson was saying, what on earth are we doing?
Wardle.
We're supposed to control this game.
Well, Wardle picked up the pieces. Jake Connor. Here's Bailey.
He's fitted in well, hasn't he? He knows his experience is so vital to the Giants.
And so is this fellow Lunt. Finds Connor, who's had a game tonight that has belied his tender years.
Into the corner.
Lunt gives it. There's the kick. Ricochets and is picked up by Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook. It was a good call actually from him to Lance Ohaya, because Ohaya was stood in front of him and was tempted. Wellens is buried by Kafosi.
He's come from Z defender there. Cut across a few of his teammates. That's how you defend.
Boy, I'm looking for the spaceship. That came out of the universe.
Flanagan goes down again. Watch this. Oh.
Well, I don't know how much longer St Helens can hold this. You know, the defence is amazing. They've made 97% of the tackles. That's a brilliant stat at this start of the game, but you'd expect the Giants to be just ahead as they are. Can St Helens maintain this defence? It's a truly remarkable effort, Eddie. You said it. When teams often go to 12 men, they find something extra, and the Saints have done that here now for almost the last, 30 minutes.
Yes, and they've still got 15 minutes remaining to try and, well, not just hang on to Huddersfield, to get back into this match. It's actually 25 minutes remaining, isn't it? Good maths.
I said earlier, Eddie, you know, it may look boring to certain people, certain fans, but, you know, Paul Anderson is, I classify as a really old-fashioned style coach. He knows that they have to just keep control of it. Keep runs like that from Lon Patrick. Get in a good position. Get it into the corner.
You just wonder how much this is going to take out of the Saints towards the end of this match. That's a fumble, but it went backwards. They got away with it. Ohio dropped onto the loose ball.
Good job the stand-up was hanging around there. Higher.
It's so reminiscent. Oh, he's lost it. He's lost it as Jordan Turner, but it was knocked out, says the referee. He wipes the tackle count down.
I think he's got it right. I think there's a handy-pandy in there. Just pulled it back.
I was about to say, this is so reminiscent of the match that Saints played at Leeds 2 weeks ago. Remember when they came back and they won it? But of course they were against 12 men on that occasion. They won it courtesy of Lance O'Haya's drop goal. Now they've got 12 men themselves. They're clinging on, but they're not out of it yet. But that's a big error by Helens. Here goes Cudjoe, and Cudjoe gets over for the try for Huddersfield. And that just could be the league leaders' shield. Going west again, or going south maybe, to the south of France. How ironic, it's Paul Helens who comes up with the error. Their evergreen fullback, their captain, their Mr. Reliable for so many years, and that's fatigue. The fatigue has told, and Cudjoe goes over for a try that could easily break St Helens' hearts again.
The sheer pressure from the defence from the Giants was enough to get that mistake. Unbelievable stuff. And you can see they're trying to get it there. Helens took his eye, wasn't the best pass. And Cudjoe goes through. He scores the try. And it's doubles all round in Castleford in the top-class wine bars down there. They will be celebrating like nothing on earth. Unbelievable.
Well, Jermaine McGilvray has been absolutely sensational. He's been brilliant in this game, defensively and with the ball, and he deserves a pat on the back for that try.
Connor's kick is important, but he's missed it. 16-10, St Helens still in it, you know now.
And you need to give James Roby some credit here. We see a couple of the Huddersfield players sat in the dugout, but that missed conversion here is a result after we see the try. James Roby tracks back and he forces Cudjoe to stay out wide. It's made the conversion more difficult, and at the moment a 6-point lead would mean that with another try and converted by St Helens, the league leaders' shield, if the game here ends up as a draw, goes to Langtree Park.
First try on this ground for Leroy Cudjoe since April. Timely. Not if you're a Saints fan. Timely if you're a Castleford fan.
Yeah, and I suppose
timely if you're a Huddersfield fan.
I suppose many people perhaps will be pointing the finger for the blame of Paul Helens, but it wasn't the best pass, was it, from Flanagan? It was way behind him, but it was enough for Cudjoe. He took it well as well, you know, his fingertips control right at the bottom. But you've got to start saying now that the message from Paul Anderson is get up that field. I know Danny Brough is not out there, but they've got to start looking for the 1 point. I know we've still got plenty of time left.
Who's going to the grand final? Well, we are. Are you coming with us? 11th of October at 6 o'clock, the kick-off time. The telephone number there on the left, the website address on the right. Super League Europe. Any questions, queries you have, that's the place to find them. And at Old Trafford, the grand final, October the 11th. 4 weeks tomorrow.
What about Antonio Cafus? He looks like a man on a mission. Every time there's a slow play, though, he's the man who looks like he's been shot out of a cannon. some intent in those defensive efforts from him.
Steve-O calling for drop goals. There's been one at the KC Stadium for Leeds. 19 points they have. They're clinging on to a lead here. Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook looks to revitalise the bid for the League Leaders Shield. Brett Ferris with an important tackle on Paul Wellens. Roby gets it to O'Hire. Remember, only a point will do them, and O'Hire is in! Lance O'Hire gets over for the try. Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook started it. There's character in this St Helens team, you cannot deny that. And Lance O'Hire gets over for the try. The kick to come, that would level it, and that would do for Saints. They'd go home now if they could, if they kicked this.
What a magnificent match this guy's had. McCarthy-Scarsbrook. We said they needed something to lift them, and it was from the Londoner that did it. Lance O'Hire, well, it was Saints last week that was taking so many dummies. On this occasion, O'Hire throws it, and boy, they have taken it. Jake Connor had to go out. That's what it means. They know he's got to kick this conversion, and it could lift the league leaders trophy.
Lance O'Hire with the try, but what a kick is coming up here for 20-year-old Mark Percival. Well, he's kicked one tonight already. Wonder what thoughts are going through his mind as he just ties the bootlace on his right boot. Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook, his run lifted the team. They flooded forward in support. This isn't easy. This is anything but easy. But Mark Percival, he's only just back in the side tonight after the concussion he picked up against Leeds a fortnight ago. He's kicked 33 goals, including the one tonight. Look at them, the St Helens supporters. They know how crucial this kick might be. Well, if he kicks this, it's as good as anything you have seen before. The pressure. They can't bear to watch. Percival then will level the scores. And if Saints could pay the timekeeper now, they'd say, blow that siren. Let's get out of here with the Shield.
That's nerves of steel from young Mark Percival, but what about the run from Louis McCarthy? You know, the athleticism of him, and he talked about him being, would I pick him in the dream team? I would. I'd find a place for him somewhere because he's been that important to Saints. And just what about this? A confident youngster.
Isn't it funny how history repeats itself? The last time these two sides met here back in April, the game was 16-all in the closing stages. The Giants had 3 attempted drop goals, Steve-O, charged down. The 4th one, they thought it had gone over, the referee disagreed, and in the end it was the Saints who found that winning drop goal. Boy, I bet the Giants wish they had Danny Brough out there now, trying to slot the one-pointer over.
Well, Saints have got the tails up, that is for sure. And Huddersfield just seem to have relaxed. Roby is controlling things yet again. They look down and out. Remember, Saints down to 12 men. All of a sudden, Lance O'Hire comes into the scene.
And we've got another thriller. We had one last night at Wigan. We've got another one here at Huddersfield. We're inside the last 20 minutes. And at this moment, St Helens win the League Leaders Shield. But there's a long, long way to go yet. And the boys are all talking about drop goals. And Steve-O calling for a drop goal maybe from someone on the Huddersfield side. The only player with Danny Brough off the field, the only player in the Huddersfield ranks who's ever scored a drop goal, Sean Lunt. And that came for Workington in 2007. So there's not many drop goal specialists in the Huddersfield Giants side at the moment. Danny Brough, the specialist, not playing in this game, but it might not come down to a drop goal. There might be something more. There might be another twist in store for us. And that really is the story of Super League 19.
It's so exciting, isn't it? And it may come down just to one error, just one missed tackle, one silly penalty. The concentration on both sides is enormous.
Willie Manu, I'm reminded that, and there's Hull FC biting back against Leeds. I'm reminded that Luke Robinson's kicked a goal as well, a drop goal for the Giants, but of course he's off the field and not expected to return after being clattered in the first half. So it really is a game at the moment of chess, isn't it? It's the mind games. Who's going to win the mind game over the next 16.5 minutes?
Pressure, so much pressure. Wasn't the best kick there from Lance O'Hire. It was right down the throat of Aaron Murphy.
It's game on, it's that close, it's a mistake, it's a penalty. What Saints did from the kickoff was just played at the middle, went from the ruck, and they made 90 metres. They don't need to do anything different with 12 men. That's where they need to build up their energy stakes to make sure that when they are defending, they're defending very aggressively.
Josh Johnson goes down, tackle number 4. And Bailey's taking it forward over the halfway line, but they've only got to the 5th tackle, and they're just a metre into St Helens territory. It goes high off the boot of Connor. And here comes Percival, who kept the coolest head on the youngest of shoulders for that conversion. Now it's Makinson.
It's just sheer solid graft that's got to get them into that position. The mindset on either side is that 1 point.
Of course, it's all about finishing position for Huddersfield tonight. Would a draw be sufficient to get Huddersfield 4th? That's a question for later, maybe. Roby with a kick into the corner. We're checking the... Oh, that's a great kick too. We're checking the current position in the table all the time here tonight, and Huddersfield with this 1 point would claim 4th, so that would do them as well. It would do Saints nicely at this point. It would do Huddersfield equally as good. They'd finish 4th with all the benefits that brings.
Well, if ever there was a man that deserved to touch silverware, it's this fella here that's having the treatment. Remember Nathan Brown, they brought him on midway through the first half when Saints looked a little bit vulnerable. He has changed the game around, and it looked as though they were down and out. It was this fella that made that magnificent break. Talk about pressure. What about the chairman?
Well, the physio saying he's A-OK. They have had a break in play. The referee has called time off. At least it's given St Helens the opportunity to fill the lungs with a bit of air.
And this sometimes can turn into a bit of a negative when you have a little bit of a break. Okay, it was only about a minute. And as I say, this just one mistake, lack of concentration. The Giants have got to get through this solid defence, which is still working hard. Remember, Saints down to 12. And have been for quite some time.
Yes, they've had to play for all but the opening 30 minutes of this match with 12 men.
Well, they've got about 9 months sacrifice here, all thrown into the last 15 minutes to hang on or score next, haven't they, and confirm a victory in this game and give them a reward, something they've worked out many years here now. They've been toiling away. Things have gone against them. They've been to several grand finals and lost on the last 5 visits. But here's a chance for perhaps to build some silverware and start a new dynasty in the club's history. If they can pick up the League Leaders' Shield, that might be the start and the spark for some success back at St Helens.
Makinson, Huddersfield still haven't given this up, you know.
No, they haven't, but I've got to say that kick and chase wasn't all that brilliant. There's a few players out there that are really struggling. What was one line of defence, you can see that the Giants, some of them are going up, others are standing back. That could be lethal.
Well, Frankie goes down, tackle number 4, 10 metres. No, it's on halfway, I beg your pardon. And Roby goes down the left-hand side with Josh Jones. Here comes the last tackle, so expect a kick. And the kick will come in from Lance O'Hire, deep in towards the corner. But Murphy's underneath it.
Great work by Murphy. You could see the angle that Lance O'Hire put his body, so he shifted over that to right-hand side. But can one of these sides get into a position? We haven't had that opportunity to go for that 1 point. Surely that was offside. First and second markers, one went away very quickly. Oh, didn't look too clever either.
4 tackles gone. Huddersfield still in their own territory. 10 metres the wrong side of halfway. Now the kick from Cudjoe. He's gone for a 40-20 here. Don't think he's got the angle right.
But it's a good kick. It's going to stay in the in-goal area.
And it's a great chase this time. Wellens to bring it back.
And
Josh Johnson gives away the penalty for the high shot.
He can't believe it. And
he won't be the only one shaking his head.
Yeah, Paul Anderson will be furious. He knows it.
Well, look, this is the way it stands at the moment with this draw. Huddersfield would finish 4th. St Helens would win the League Leaders' Shield, so it would suit both sides, this point. It wouldn't suit Castleford. It'd suit him, 4th. I don't think he can get much higher than that, can he? I don't think he can get any higher than 4th, the Giants.
Yeah, but he knows
because Wigan are settled in 3rd, no matter what happens in France tomorrow.
He knows that there's somebody on that St Helens side that's going to have the opportunity.
It'll suit him. Yeah. It'll suit him. Yeah, they couldn't play for a draw, these two clubs.
No.
At all. Not in rugby league.
Round 27, what we've witnessed over the last 2 nights is absolutely fabulous. Credit to both sets of players who played last night and this evening. Paul Wellens, he's done a tremendous job all season.
There'll be the conspiracy theorists out there, of course, who will say this has all been pre-planned, but you can't say that. Nobody in their right mind would say that.
No, Eddie, just forget about it. That wasn't pre-planned either. And Paul Anderson, as I said earlier, will be absolutely livid over that.
I can't believe we're going to have 12 minutes, Eddie, without a point scored in this game. There has to be at least another score in the match.
Well, the problem is, Phil, is that both defences are working overtime, and neither have got into anywhere near 30 metres from the post to even attempt the 1 point.
If it does stay at 16-all, it would be the 10th draw of this Super League season, this unforgettable Super League season. There's a mistake again from St Helens, the free play. Danny Brough claps his hands. He's not interested in the point. He wants to. He wants to give his former club Castleford the chance. Well, Saints must have been offside there,
there was at least half a dozen. Well, the home crowd, they're going bananas here. Got to be careful. Don't give away the penalty.
That's a good run. That's a solid run. That's tremendous by Connor.
Yeah, that should have been a penalty as well.
Lunt goes down.
Get towards those sticks.
Ferris gets it away to Joe Wardle. Wardle comes in field. They're pointing towards the middle of the pitch.
They want one more drive. Lunt's got to be the one. Don't pass.
Kopchak will take it forward now then.
Who is it?
Well, Jake Connor's there. Jake Connor's back there.
He's got it.
He's put his hand up.
Got it.
He's gone for it. Drop goal, charge down. Charge down.
Charge down. It'll be a dropout.
And it's a goal line dropout.
The nerves. The nerves. Look at the pressure here. You've got 3 St Helens players getting out. They know it means so much. We've got 11 minutes in their season, and they don't want to be that weak link. They don't want to let the teammates down. The pressure, it's brilliant.
Was that James Roby that got the hand to it? I think you may find it was the hooker. So he put himself in a good position, Jake Connor. He could have been the hero, but it was James Roby, I'm sure, that got a hand to it. But
Hull have taken the lead. Hull have taken the lead of the KC. That's irrelevant in terms of league positions as far as Leeds are concerned. This is very relevant. 16-all, 10 minutes to go. Kopchak will drive it in again. He releases the pass and gives it to Aaron Murphy.
Another drive. The message will be going out to Jake Connor. Stand a little bit deeper if you get the opportunity. That's a good run. That's what they need. Will they go early? Or will they go for another? Sorry, Eddie.
It's all right. You take over. Carry on. Here's Lunt. Lunt then gives it to Josh Johnson. Well, they're in the 4th tackle now. And here's Kopchak.
That look forward.
He hangs on. Jake Connor has moved this way. Are they going for Broke or are they going to have a bash? Are they going to have a bash again? No, they're going for Broke. Hang on. Oh, he's kicked this. Leroy Cudjoe has kicked this. St Helens supporters go quiet again. Huddersfield supporters on their feet now, and Cudjoe nudges the Giants ahead.
Tremendous stuff.
First ever drop goal we've seen here from Cudjoe.
And he will always be remembered for this if it seems to be the winning kick. But what a great plan. Jake Connor, he went onto the blind side, and you know the St. Helens players, they went to cross to make sure they put the pressure on Connor. He went the other way, and Cudjoe says, we'll take the lead.
It was 17-16 in the cup tie, but it was 17-16 the other way around. They have been fuming about that in this part of the world ever since that April day, and Danny Brough more than most, and there
he's lost it. He's knocked on. They cannot believe this. You talk about pressure.
Well, the hand was involved on the ball here. Just watch it when you see a replay. Look, the hand's on the ball. He dropped it afterwards, I guess, didn't
he? He dropped it afterwards.
And that's what the referee will judge it on. He'll have seen that the hands come away before he loses the ball.
David Fayumu, is that a fatal error? They've just got themselves in front, and now they've got to defend.
They can't go for the 1 point, says they're going to go for the try.
Well, at one point to do the Saints.
I know, but I don't think they'll go for it. I think they'll go for the try.
I know they'll go for it.
They'll go for it for 3 or 4, and then they'll wait and see.
Yeah.
There's the first. Roby waits. Here comes Anthony Lafranchi, whose hand it was who was in that tackle that forced the error, or made David Fayumu come up with the error. Here's big Mossy Masoi. He's still pumping the legs, and he gets them to within 8 metres. Now
will they go early?
Well, Lance O'Hire's in centre field. There's Roby. They're going left. They get it away to Jordan Turner.
What a tackle by Aaron Murphy. That is one of the best try-saving tackles I've seen for years.
And he's picked up and dragged back into the defensive line. There's no sentiment in this game. This is O'Hire, little drop of the shoulder. Down he goes. Now then, up to the last tackle. Roby, back it comes. No, they've gone for broke. Flanagan with a kick to the in-goal area. And it is Jody Broughton who tidies things up.
Why didn't they go for the one?
Building pressure, Steve-O.
They only need to draw to pick up the silverware.
He wants to see your blood pressure get a little bit higher here, Mike. That's what he wants. He's going to just tease us for a little longer.
What about Sean Lunt? When he's running, he's grabbed one of his teammates because he knew
that was Murphy
could have given a penalty away.
Yeah, he picked him up. Murphy just made the tackle of the season for Huddersfield.
Unbelievable.
Sean Lunt picked him up by the scruff of the neck and threw him in the in-goal area.
Well, will it be the Yorkshire side that win through? Because today, Yorkshire became champions of the cricket. Absolutely wonderful. Man of the match, Ryan Sidebottom, who loves rugby league. He was brought up in rugby league territory, and what a day it has been for him and, of course, Yorkshire. But will St. Helens spoil the party here for the Giants?
Salford have beaten Widnes. I think Hull have beaten Leeds.
Okay, guys, let's go.
So Leeds are going into the playoffs with 5 straight wins, 5 straight defeats behind them.
Let's go.
Right, Eddie, I'm behind the sticks, and I'll be telling Jake Connor, don't kick the ball anywhere near Mossy Masoi. Don't give it him, because if they win play 1, it could be dangerous.
That's a brilliant kick.
That's a great goal line dropout.
Is it ever?
Well, here's Mossy Masoi. It didn't go to him, it went to Helens. The wrecking ball's on the way. How long have we got left? 7 1/4 minutes. Roby away from Ukumatai. What an effort from this fellow. What an effort from Roby.
Yeah, but no high tackles.
Wellens.
Can't afford to give away a penalty here.
McCarthy Scarsbrook.
Release Dave. Back.
Now then, they're right underneath the sticks. They're 30 metres out, or 20 metres out. Roby's having another dash at them. This is Jordan Turner again. Back it comes now. Here is Lance O'Hire. He was the hero at Headingley. He's sliced that.
He cannot believe it.
That's not the best drop goal attempt we've ever seen.
Listen, have they got wrong?
No, he caught it in goal, didn't he? He pouched it and then he went over the line.
It was pretty close, wasn't it? Well, this is up at jumper time. What has he done there? He cannot believe it.
Long Patrick. Patrick is away. And Helens stands its ground. Cudjoe.
Just keep hold of the damn thing.
Brushes O'Hire off. Can't get rid of the next two.
Motti Masoi came in on there at Cudjoe and he's felt it.
Sean Lunt to Ukumatai. He keeps it going. They're in the 20. This is the last.
In-goal area. Put it into the in-goal area.
Michael Lawrence does exactly that. He's chasing it. Percival picks it up. Percival picks it up. What an effort. Oh, McGilvray, did he nick that? Did he steal that, Jermaine McGilvray?
Did he ground it or did he lose it? That's what he wants to see.
Well, I don't think it was grounded by Percival. I think that McGilvray, if anything, has pinched this. This is vital. Phil Bentham, over to you. Stuart.
Well, it's very interesting because the new rule brought in this year about the deliberate grounding of the ball in the in-goal area as opposed to the ball just being grounded might well come into play here right at the end of the season. It all depends whether the ball... We don't see that.
We will hear. He did brilliantly, Percival.
Well, I think first of all he slips and he's still trying to get out of the in-goal area, so he's keeping the ball up so that he doesn't ground it. The ball's not grounded as yet.
That's a try.
Well, this will tell us, or does Percival ground it first? Well, I think he does.
It's a one-on-one tackle for a start, so we can't have any penalty for that. Can't quite see what happens with the grounding there. It doesn't look like his hand's actually on the ball.
He's got his hand on the ball, Percival.
It's a goal line dropout, isn't it?
Yeah, he gets his hand on the ball. He grounds this ball.
This is the referee's view.
Right, and this is probably the best view to deal with. Ball's up.
Yes,
I would say that ball's grounded there, and it's got to be deemed as deliberate, that.
He's done well, Percival. He's kept them in it.
Goal line dropout.
No try. Goal line dropout because the ball was grounded in goal by Mark Percival.
It was a brilliant kick at this stage in the match. Was it Michael Lawrence who trapped it in goal? Do you know what? It's so easy to kick the ball too hard over the dead ball line. Brilliant kick.
Now this is where the Giants should control it. Oh, that looks slightly.
Didn't it just look forward?
Deary me. Paul Anderson. He was saying what on earth they were doing out there. All we have to do is just keep driving forward and keep putting the ball in the in-goal area. That was forward. They've got away with it.
Ukumatai takes it on. Sean Lunt will scamper away. He'll find Connor, who finds... couldn't find Broughton.
It wasn't the best pass from Wardle. They'd sucked it in, everything had worked well, the dummy runner had come through, and Broughton couldn't get it. It was always dipping in front of him.
And look at the ground that was available ahead of Broughton had he taken that.
Oh, it was a try for sure. Oh, get me a pill, please.
Oh, and Paul Anderson knows that was so close and that would have been the game. But St Helens are still in there. The heart is still beating.
And of course, as we see in this modern day game, there is no fullback in any position. The fullback is up in that defensive line for the Giants.
Well, they're praying, they're biting their fingernails, they're wishing, they're hoping. Mossy Masoi needs some work.
Will it be a kick downfield? And let's see what the speedsters can do.
This is going to be a monumental effort from Saints. Just over 4 minutes left. Trapped near the try line.
Now the word for Huddersfield is don't give any penalties away. Here's Mossy Masoi. That's the second tackle gone. This is Mark Flanagan.
He's knocked on.
Mark Flanagan loses it and he's furious. He is furious.
All his teammates say, come on, set the scrum. Nerves are plenty for Nathan Brown.
You wouldn't be a coach, would you? You wouldn't.
That could be the turning point. Well, the home crowd are chanting Yorkshire, Yorkshire. But that is an error from Flanagan. And you can see on the faces of the travelling fans that they perhaps know that this could be curtains.
St Helens have not lost 2 in a row since Easter. But they are on the verge of losing 2 in a row here in September. And it would be the most costly, possibly the most costly 2 in a row ever. Because it means Castleford would have the chance. What a run that is from Ukumatai.
And that's all they need to do.
Lunt.
Control it from Lunt.
That was Cudjoe. This is Ferris. 3 Castleford. Hearts are beating. This is Lunt again. Gets it across the face of the St Helens defence. It's held on to by David Fayumu. He'll pick himself up and play it to Lunt. Lunt was thinking of going himself. He's lost that forward. A forward pass.
Deary me today. He's had a magnificent game as this fella, Sean Lunt.
It's a forward pass, isn't it, is what they've said. It's knocked out, isn't it? The defender gets his hand around Josh Jones, grabs one of the arms, which means that when the ball's released, it goes forward to Ukumatai. Look, that's what the referee said. No, they need a minute to get to the other end of the field, and they need a fast play of the ball. What just one quick play of the ball will allow James Roby to shoot out to the sprinting blocks and get his side rolling downfield.
Well, I've said it before, Phil, and I'm going to repeat myself. Kick downfield and have a chase. Look, there's nobody there.
Well, with Makinson on one wing, it would be worth a risk. And Percival's no slouch on the other.
Adam Murphy is trotting back, and
he is now.
He's limping. Maybe the chip over the top. There's no sweeper.
Ohio goes down. That's 3 gone. They're still midway inside their own half. Here goes Willie Manu. He can't get the arm free. Michael Lawrence saw to it that was clamped to his body. There is Roby. Here comes Big Mossy.
Lance Ohio in a lot of trouble as well.
Oh, the ball's come free. The ball's come free.
He didn't want that from Mossy Masoi. He should have kept hold of possession. It was obviously going to be the last chance.
Well, they might get one more go, St Helens. Depends how quickly Huddersfield get through this set of 6.
I think they'll just slow things down.
Kyle Amor looks a disconsolate figure on the side. This is Michael Lawrence.
Going to be a bit sharper now from Sean Lunt. Not that silly pass, remember, that got knocked down.
Here's Connor once again. Tries to go inside McCarthy Scarsbrook. He did. He was then collared by the big man. And Cudjoe to the corner. Wellens is after this. Wellens pouches it. Down he goes. Look where they turned it over, though. The Giants with less than 2 minutes to go. It's going to be a 90-metre try from St Helens.
This is probably the last set of 6 that Saints have got. Huddersfield, they know that they've got this game. They've just got to make sure that everything they do is disciplined. Don't give Saints the advantage of coming up the other end of the park because you give a penalty away.
And don't let anybody tell you that the League Leaders Shield means nothing to St Helens. Because it does. They've run their blood to water tonight. That's forward. That's forward a mile. This is Makinson. That's brilliant. And that's even better from Aaron Murphy.
And it's into the final minute when they put this scrum down.
Well, it's into the final 5 seconds. They're not going to form the scrum. 1 minute to go. 1 minute to go.
How brave's Murphy coming for that ball?
He's worked overtime, hasn't he, Aaron Murphy? He really has been a star of the show.
Will they go for the try or the drop goal in this place?
Oh, you go for the drop goal, Phil.
Well, you'd have the drop goal. But
who's going to go for the drop goal?
Well, I suppose, Stuart, the old word momentum comes into it for that pass there.
Yeah, it certainly had a part to play in it. There was a lot of pace on the ball, on the man passing the ball. So I think that was all right when you see it come out of the hands.
58 seconds.
Yeah, we're in the last.
All they'll do will drive towards those sticks.
Well, you'd think so, because a point would be enough. It's going right down to the last minute of the season for St Helens. Big push at the scrum. Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook came up with the possession, though. Now then, the clock's as vital as the tackle count here. Willie Manu. Willie Manu
Who's going to take the next drive? It's got to be towards the sticks.
It is with big Mossy Masoi.
I think Gary Wheeler's getting set up here.
Great run from Mossy Masoi. 12 metres out. They know this is the moment for them. Off the foot. And here is a drop goal attempt. Charged down. It's play on.
He's offside.
He's offside. He's offside. Is Louis McCarthy Scarborough. And it's all over for the Saints.
It is. Well, they applied the pressure. It ricocheted. I think it was up for Yukumatai.
Well, I actually think that is play on. The ball was charged down, so everybody should be placed back on side. So that should be play on. We had a similar situation last night. It was ruled as play on. We've got that there. That ball is played out, so everybody else is played back on side. That should be play on.
Well, controversial ending to this. And it looks as though the Giants are going to sneak it. They'll just run it out. They won't even bother passing. Surely, Sean Lund. Oh, he's passed it. Can't believe it. Run with the ball from dummy half. 2 seconds to go.
You have to feel sorry for Eamon McManus, Nathan Brown and St Helens. But for Huddersfield, and for Paul Wellens, come to that. But for Huddersfield, they have come up with the win that keeps this remarkable season alive right the way through to a match in the south of France tomorrow afternoon.
Well, you wouldn't mind seeing these two sides make it into the